Es fácil desafiar a los demás, pero hacerlo con uno mismo cuesta. Hay que ser capaz de olvidar todo lo que has aprendido, lo que ya has conseguido y reinventarte hasta dar con algo genuino. Puede que sea un riesgo o puede que sea el único camino. Nuevo Nissan Qashqai. Inventamos el crossover y ahora lo reinventamos.
Well, we're out of milk. Of all things to say when your husband announced he's leaving you with 3 little kids. It gets better, I promise. Hi, it's Amanda Carroll. Welcome to the second season of the Get Your Brave On podcast, episode number 1. Be the best you. I admit to you, I'm a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan, so bear with me. But there are 2 things we can all learn from NFL champ Patrick Mahomes. After winning the Super Bowl in 2021, he was asked how it felt to be like the new face of the NFL. Patrick Mahomes immediately deflected all the accolades for himself, naming teammates and other players he respects. And then he said, I'm just trying to be the best Patrick Mahomes I can be. That's our first lesson in bravery. Take responsibility for your own actions, but don't accept accolades selfishly. You know, I'm learning most of these lessons the hard way. I always say I'm going to write a book someday called Cautionary Tale. I have not just been a single mom for 11 years. I've been a mother, yes, living alone most of the time with 3 children, but receiving the help from an amazing tribe of family and friends, and they all make me brave. I became a single mom in an instant. It was very sudden without warning. My ex-husband came home from a business trip in Brazil one night to our home in Washington, D.C. and announced, I'm leaving you. My kids, all 3 of them were asleep in bed. They were 4, 2, and 8 weeks old. I was still wearing maternity pants. I was still figuring out nursing my newborn baby, and he was gone. I said the most ridiculous thing that night. I said, well, we're out of milk. Like, I thought that I should have fought for it, right? But I went into immediate survival mode and thought, okay, well, I've got 3 kids. We go through lots of milk every single day, and we don't have any, and I'm waking up without a husband tomorrow, so I'm going to need some milk. And he went out, got some milk, and I called my best friend, Patty, who lived up the street. She came down the street running. I said, he's leaving, and he went to the grocery store to get some milk. She's like, what? And she put me to bed, answered the door, took that thing of milk and said, you don't make this hard on her. And he left. That was the end of my marriage in an instant. I didn't know what to do. But I had Patty and our group of friends that carried me through that next year of a torturous nightmare that was becoming a single mom and divorce. Nobody plans on it, right? But it is because of that group of friends that I started Get Your Brave On. When they helped me so much, they fed us dinners. They came and watched my kids. My friend Juliet even held my hand as I had to go to the attorney's office to file for divorce, something I never thought I wanted to do. I remember I said, how could I ever repay you? And she said, just go do it for somebody else. So that's what this is. I created getyourbraveon.info, the website, the online courses, and this podcast to help others that are going through a plot twist in life. Whether it's divorce, single motherhood, a job lost, a plot twist, or just unclear of what your direction is in life, this is your safe space to get the motivation to get your brave on and live a strong and courageous life. To be the best version of you, because you don't do it alone. Even Patrick Mahomes knew that. You do it with a team, a tribe, as I like to say. I'm calling us the brave babes, women that refuse to allow fear to limit our life anymore and instead choose to obey God's command in Joshua 1:9 to live a strong and courageous life, knowing the promise that God is with us wherever we go. Getting your brave on begins with you. Everyday bravery, choosing to live a strong and courageous life, happens when we make decisions to be the best we can. I didn't always feel like that, so it is okay if you are not there yet. In fact, you're in the perfect place if you're not there. Everything about Get Your Brave On is to inspire you to get to that place. I wasn't there. After my ex-husband left, after 12 years of marriage, I was a puddle. I could hardly get out of bed. I'd nurse my baby in the middle of the night, lay back down in bed and just pray that God would let the kids sleep in on a Saturday morning. I remember the morning that happened. It was just a few days after their dad had left us, and I was just laying there. I didn't want to get out. But I heard my daughter Emily, who was 4 years old at the time, she'd open up her curtains in our old, overly priced home in Vienna, Virginia, right outside of DC. And if she saw sunshine, she would say, "Mommy, it's happy outside." I remember that morning. It's so vivid. A decade later, I still remember the old gray maternity dress that I was wearing, which was probably the only thing that I could fit into at that time. I remember hearing her sweet little voice in the room next door, realizing this is my moment. My daughter says it is happy outside. So I have to get up, be the best me I can be, and choose to be happy right along with her. Let her not realize what is going on. That's how I nickname my kids my sunshines, because they make me happy when skies are gray. They are my why. It says in the book, Man's Search for Meaning, there's a quote in there from Friedrich Nietzsche that says, "He who has a why to live can bear any how." Bearing the how of becoming a single mother with 3 young children, 4 and under, they became my why, because I wanted them to wake up every morning and think it's happy outside. So if they were going to feel happy, their mom had to show them happy. So I started plotting my comeback. The secret to accomplishing things in life, instead of just dreaming about them, is choosing to be the best version of you daily. Patrick Mahomes was the one that set his goal to become a professional football player. Patrick Mahomes was the one that daily decided to practice, to work out, to show up for his team, and to be a good guy. You got to work on you, boo. Just like Patrick Mahomes. I'm here to help you work on that comeback from whatever plot twist you face, whether it's divorce or job loss or just overall loss of direction. Getting your brave on is a daily decision to put you first. You show up at the gym when you really don't want to. You decide to finish that work project instead of just being mediocre. You do things excellent. You are the one that decides to go to bed early so you can wake up rested for the next day instead of binge watching The Crown on Netflix while having a glass of wine. Sorry, that got a little personal. I'm learning to say no to more social events on my calendar when I know they could just be a distraction during the week, and I really just need to rest. I've heard one of the biggest weapons the enemy uses against us to accomplish our goals is distraction. And boy, is he really good at wielding that weapon around me. He tempts me with fun, lunch with friends, a party to go to instead, when I know what I should be doing is working on this podcast, writing a book, spending time with God. He even distracts me with bad things that happens in my life that could easily trigger my depression and anxiety and stop me in my tracks. I have to keep going. I'm taking my own advice right now. I'm getting my brave on today. It's been a lot of brutal things the past 2 years, but I'm staying focused, making a schedule and sticking to it, and refusing to allow the enemy of distraction derail me from accomplishing my goals. Patrick Mahomes probably didn't skip many practices for a lunch date. If he had, he wouldn't have that Super Bowl ring on. We need to have that same focus on our goals. Every day is one more step forward to achieving them. Don't let a setback or a distraction stop you. Stand firm. When you are tempted, when something happens that's bad that derails you, that's like a big red blinking light on your life to say, don't give in. You must be doing something right. Keep going. I'm here to be that cheerleader for you. Subscribe to this podcast and you will get weekly reminders to choose bravery and obey that command to live a strong and courageous life. The other quest I have for Get Your Brave On is to build a really strong community around me. Mahomes didn't win the Super Bowl by himself. That's what he said. I love it that he didn't take credit for it either. We can't face our lives bravely by ourselves. One secret to getting your brave on today could be relying on someone else's support. That's brave, right? To ask for help. I've had many tearful phone calls to family and friends asking them to pray for me, to say something to get me to not quit and to get out of bed and stop being depressed, and to ask for much needed advice on what to do. Is there somebody you can call or tell today that you're going through a hard time and ask for help? We need a community of brave babes, as I like to say. That's you. People that refuse to quit. We refuse to let each other quit, and we keep each other accountable. I realize for me personally, that's my challenge as a single woman, that there is no one at home in the evening to say, honey, maybe you should go to bed instead of staying up late and watching Netflix with a glass of wine. I have to have a community around me that is regularly checking up on me. And that's what I'm really excited about our Get Your Brave On community. This is a community of brave babes. It's a group of friends that when someone gets up from the table, we don't talk badly about them. It's a group of friends that when someone's having a hard time, we don't judge them. We say, how can I help you? When somebody has a fall or makes a big mistake, we rally and we say, it's okay. I know you're human. What can I do to help you get back on your feet? That's what living a strong and courageous life is all about. I don't know about you, but I really need more friends like that. I don't know about you, but I just feel like God doesn't need a lot of people that are walking around living an extra cautious life. I've found nowhere in the Bible where he says, just be like extra cautious and super safe and don't try anything new. No. This Get Your Brave On idea was created from Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you, declares the Lord, to be strong and courageous? And the best part is, he says, and I'll go with you wherever you go. So the reason, my brave babe, you can face that daunting task at work or that horrible thing that somebody did to you or that mistake that you just can't forgive yourself for is because that God is with you. It's not an option to be strong and courageous, especially right now. He's commanding you to do it. And I'm here to help you walk it out. You're not alone. This community of brave babes, we practice something I like to call the gospel of with. Like in that Bible verse, for I am with you wherever you go. God is with us. So we need to be with each other. My story of getting my brave on after becoming a single mother suddenly with 3 kids isn't just my story. It's because I had a tribe. I had a tribe of amazing women and their husbands that carried me through that time and gave me direction and helped me be brave. I'll never forget the moment when I was dropping my son Andy off at preschool just for half day at this little Baptist church in Vienna, Virginia. And I saw my friend Juliet dropping her child off. It was just like one of those surface friendships at the time. Hey, how are you? We have friends in common. Do you want to go out for coffee? And I remember that she went to the chapel every single day after dropping her kids off to pray. And that day was the first day I told anyone that my husband had left. It was this secret. I had such shame about it because I was doing a Christian morning radio show. I couldn't have my life and my marriage fall apart. For some reason, I trusted Juliet. We went into the chapel and I told her my husband had left. She prayed. She really didn't leave my side at all for that year. She even ended up holding my hand when I had to go get a divorce attorney. Those are the kinds of friends that brave babes become. Those are the kind of friends that brave babes are. Because we know what it's like to have suffering in our lives. And we stand by each other when things get hard. And we never turn our backs on a fellow brave babe. So are you in, brave babes? Are you with me? Just like God promises, he's the one that's with us. When we choose to live a strong and courageous life, he's the reason why you and I can choose to live a strong and courageous life. Let's do this together. So in our brave lesson 1, be the best you, I want you to write yourself a letter. Sit down early in the morning with a cup of coffee or late at night after the kids are in bed and write a letter to yourself about the woman that you want to be. Write a letter to the mom that you want your kids to be proud of, to the wife that you want your husband to be proud of, to the wife that you want your future husband to be proud of. What does that woman look like? What does she do? Who is she? What has she accomplished? Write the vision for your future life. Be the best version of you. How does she make her future self proud? That's what I did. I was challenged by a dear friend right after my husband left in those first months saying, well, what is it that you really want? He said, we only get one trip around the block in life, and not many of us get a chance to restart halfway around. You just did. And I thought, well, I've always taken a back seat in my career to my husband, but I really have big dreams. I want to be a nationally syndicated radio host. I want a national show. I want to write. I want to speak. I want to inspire people. I said, okay, let's go do that. And I started my plot, my comeback. Guess what? It worked. I'm now a nationally syndicated radio host, and I'm working on that book, and I created an online platform and online courses. And I did it all after being a stay-at-home mom with 3 little kids, a little part-time job, suffering from verbal and physical and financial abuse, and left for another woman. There is life again when you decide to choose bravery, when you decide to believe that God is with you, when you choose to be strong and courageous. There is a beautiful life just around the corner that's going to be even better than the one you're so sad about losing. Write that letter as assignment number 1, and then join me next week for Brave Lesson number 2. Circle a date. Oh, do I have a good story about God's faithfulness when you step out in faith and believe that He's going to do what He promises He can do in your life. I can't wait for this. So are you in? Are you with me? Because if we get enough brave babes, we are totally getting jackets. Sign up at getyourbraveon.info. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Amanda Carroll Show. Share with me your letters if you'd like, and I'll put you on that next podcast. Write your letter if you'd like. Tell me your story. Call me anytime, 530-4AMANDA. I'll do my best to answer your phone call. Brave babes, you are my priority. Share your story and then join me for Brave Lesson number 2, Circle a Date, next week. Love ya. Get your brave on.
Es fácil desafiar a los demás, pero hacerlo con uno mismo cuesta. Hay que ser capaz de olvidar todo lo que has aprendido, lo que ya has conseguido y reinventarte hasta dar con algo genuino. Puede que sea un riesgo o puede que sea el único camino. Nuevo Nissan Qashqai. Inventamos el crossover y ahora lo reinventamos. Es fácil desafiar a los demás, pero hacerlo con uno mismo cuesta. Hay que ser capaz de olvidar todo lo que has aprendido, lo que ya has conseguido y reinventarte hasta dar con algo genuino. Puede que sea un riesgo o puede que sea el único camino. Nuevo Nissan Qashqai. Inventamos el crossover y ahora lo reinventamos.